Hello, world. This is Tommy Hagewood coming to you from Leesburg, Florida, the lakefront city and Lake County in the Sunshine State. It's 82 degrees on the way to 91. This is Wednesday, August the 12th, 2020. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I remember as a child playing hide and seek. My children are amazed that I can remember that far back. I'm amazed when I recall some of the hiding places I was able to get into. If I were to try that now, you'd have to call the fire department to rescue me. But being much smaller and more agile in my youth, I could do things then I can only imagine doing now. Adults do not play hide and seek, but they do play silly little games. The problem is they do not realize they're playing games rather than dealing with the realities of life. How many people think they found wisdom in life when they have found what they have found is limited and may even lead to faulty conclusions? Take, for example, the illustration of the four blind men who thought they could describe an elephant, although they had never seen one, but each one had felt a certain part of the animal and was sure he knew what he was talking about. One man felt the tail and said an elephant was like a rope. The second one said an elephant was like the trunk of a tree, as he had felt one of the elephant's legs. The third man said the first two were wrong because he said an elephant was like a large hose, having felt of its trunk. The fourth man said the other three were all wrong because he said an elephant was like a fan, having felt of its ear. Each described the elephant from his own limited perspective. Three men thought they had discovered wisdom. Each one was able to advise Job on why he was suffering, on what he should do to be relieved. He should repent because they concluded that he was a wicked sinner. Their accusation against Job was totally wrong and was based upon their false assumption that he was a terrible sinner. Eliphaz was the first to debate Job. His wisdom came from his own observations and experiences in life. Consider what he said in Job 4 and verse 8. Even as I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. Eliphaz had seen people plow iniquity and reap the same, but Job was not such a person. His conclusion was totally wrong. He made similar statements that were based on his observations and experiences in chapter 5 and verse 23 and chapter 5 and verse 27. His wisdom represents the wisdom of many in our time who have all the answers but have very limited experiences to back up their false conclusions. Bildad got his wisdom from those who came before, as noted in Job chapter 8, verses 8 and 9. His wisdom also was faulty and incomplete because the people before him were just as finite and just as limited in their experiences and observations as he was in his and we are in ours. Zophar had a different take on wisdom. He relied on himself as a wise man. Note what he said in Job chapter 20, verses 1 through 3. Then Job the Naamathite answered and said, Therefore my anxious thoughts make me answer because of the turmoil within me. I've heard the rebuke that reproaches me, and the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. His attitude was, wisdom comes from the wise, and there aren't many of us around. Each man got his wisdom from a different source, but each one drew the same wrong conclusion. Job got it right when he spoke the following words in Job chapter 28, verses 20 through 28. From where does wisdom come? And where is the place of understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all living, and concealed from the birds of the air. Destruction and death say, We have heard a report about it with our ears. God understands its ways, and he knows its place. For he looks to the ends of the earth and sees under the whole heavens, to establish a weight for the wind and apportion the waters by measure. And when he made a law for the rain and a path for the thunderbolt. Then he saw wisdom and declared it. He prepared it, and indeed he searched it out. And to man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Job knew what Jeremiah declared in Jeremiah 10:23 many years later when he said, O Lord, I know the way of man is not in himself. It's not in man who walks to direct his own steps. Worldly wisdom is extremely limited and is often motivated by fleshly desires. We have absolutely no clue about the divine wisdom that only God knows and that we can only know by what he's chosen to reveal to us. We must be humble and submit to our loving Father who truly knows what is best and desires what is best for us as his creatures. Wisdom says, Find me if you can. We can find divine wisdom if we search the Scriptures honestly and serve God sincerely according to its teaching. We need to share the gospel joyfully with others as it's a message that's too good to keep. Until next time, this is Tommy Hagewood wishing for you a very pleasant good day.